Hello, I am Julian Jackson, and you are watching the first episode of Flodo. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about basically the community and what we're going to do to change it. This show is here mostly to inspire and to show that there's more in community that that can be tapped into that we may not realize. And helping me out on this topic, I have with me Jason Warfield from Midshore Graphics. So,
what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me too. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. So, basically, the way that these series will work is that I will be streaming these as live, but these are mostly for archived purposes. So basically a video for you to enjoy and view it on your own time, and get what you need to get out of it, or even be inspired a little bit. That is the aim of the game for this show. So
we need more of that in life. Julian, so thanks for taking the bull by the horns
we're
doing this. So
that's my first and main goal. That is what I want to get straight off the first bat. So understandably, this episode is mostly going to be a little bit about mindset and how to really go about it. So a lot of people around here in our community like to say that it's what you grow up with and who you know, which is true most of the time, but in some ways it really is your mindset that can really change the game in certain situations. We have people that have the whole fight or flight type of deals. In stressful situations, it's all about how you go about it, and that's what really can make or break something in a community or a situation. So I kind of want to toss it over to Jason about some stories, or even like people that inspired you to take a change in the community to start what you got.
I don't know. I think honestly, guys, in life, and those of it's cool to be interviewed here with you. And thanks for giving me a platform to even talk. You reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you be interested?" And I was honored to take that, because I remember when you walked into my doors looking for opportunity at Midshore Graphics, and our relationship has grown just through friendships and a common ground of respect. My vision, my vibe, my mindset, really probably is instilled from ground zero, from my parents. I'm obviously in a partnership with my brother that I love dearly. He's my best friend. Wish he could be here right now, but we're slammed with work and he couldn't sacrifice time. But then again, he does not like being in front of the camera. But we have great balance together. But not everyone can say that they get a chance to work with their family every day and they get along and everyone's happy and you're able to accomplish something. But my mindset comes from family upbringing, having parents, a mom and dad who are raising their kids the best they can. We're humans. We've had some bumps along the road by pathways and choices that haven't always been the best. Thankfully, there's been a lot of really good choices that I would always preach to people. Like, life is about choice. It's about what pathway direction. It's confidence. It's having that loving support system around you. But we all wake up every morning the same way. We come into this world the same way. It's a fun way, but the big picture is, at the end of the day, if you want to inspire someone or be inspired, there's plenty of outlets, man. Like you just doing this show right now, or this phone does not care what you look like. You can go make as much money as what you want to be. I got my family on mine that I love. This is what inspires me every day. My family, working with my family. Your big picture. I know I talk, but
that's all good.
Hey,
that's what we're here for.
In March, I turned 43. Big picture that's hit me right now at the age of 43 is, what does Dorchester County look like? Because I've never left here besides to go move to Salisbury to go to college through a pathway choice that's developed me to be where I'm at as an entrepreneur today. But big picture is, what are you going to do from birth to get to where you're at? If you act a fool in the classroom, you're going to end up like in problems, in junky situations. But guess what? I don't feel bad about it for you. You're doing it to yourself.
That seems to be what the case. And, it is the trend of some stories, but I like to argue for the fact that, it sometimes won't always, be that way when you're in the younger stages. But when you get a little older, you start to see things. But I guess when we jump back to, that whole mindset, and you were talking about how your family brought you up, we sometimes have to remember that, not everyone is, blessed with such a family.
100%. It's the biggest blessing I have by my family. I mean, they're my heroes. They're my leaders. We definitely don't agree on everything, and that's okay. But they're not toxic they're not toxic to my environment and my
Yes,
future.
that is really the important part. Because when I heard you say that, my first thinking was that you weren't in a toxic surrounding. It doesn't matter if they were like your family or your friends. It was just you were in like such a in a positive. You were in a positive space of people that would just say, you can do it. It wasn't, probably like in some cases where some people like to say, my teachers are doubting me or they don't like what I'm doing and all this other stuff. It's because sometimes they don't understand that
It's
that there's that there's healthy love and then there's
yeah.
fake love.
And the big picture in life, like we as human beings and individuals, we're all the same. I don't care what you look like, where you come from. I'm all about an underdog and a hero, or someone rising up and doing big things the right way. Um, I would say though, we can all wake up and inspire every day. Everyone's got a story. I love it. I mean, so look, this phone is the devil.
Oh.
Social media is the devil. And
Well.
y'all are watching us on this. That's my vision and mindset. But look, it affects all of our interactions. I think we need to have less of it in life, or focus on the positive of people who are influential. There's a gentleman I follow on social media because he puts YouTube videos out there. I would love to personally start a YouTube channel, and Julie and I joke about it.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen at some point. So keep posted on that. But big picture, and that's part of being successful in trends in life. If you're going to be successful, I think you got to pay attention to human behavior, human interaction,
that growth that kind of happens.
Yeah, where people goes. But there's a gentleman, Peter Centelio, but he's got a YouTuber. So he's a YouTuber. This guy, what I like about him, and this is my mindset, he's straight up. He is not paid by CNN, Fox News, any of these other big mainstream tell you what you want to hear or try to mindset control you on everything in life. He gets deep in the heart of every situation because he's traveled. He's lived in 4 countries. He's been to 85 countries. He gets deep in the heart of the issues, from the border crossers to LA gangs to the slum, what's happening in California, the problems, the roots, stuff that like the media hides. So look, people, big picture.
Yeah.
Here's a big thing that I've learned in my minimal time on planet Earth is we're easy to get brainwashed through mainstream social media or Fox News or bigger outlets or whatever. Sorry to drop all those names, but it's the truth. Do your own research. And look, there's going to be politics and everything. So I'm over all that. Just be a good human being and go work for it. And great things will happen to you.
Yeah, just understand what you're fighting for. That's I guess the main takeaway that I'm taking away from what you're saying, because it's
completely.
Because when we think about it, a lot of us like to say that it's black and white, when most of the time, or not even most of the time, all the time, it's never really the case. It was always that gray zone. We all agree with certain ideas that we have of each other, but there's like little nitpicks that we may want to change of those ideas, and if we understand that and we work together on that, I think
the world's evolving all the time. Like, look, I remember the day of, so you wouldn't know this, but me growing up home with my mom, dad, brother, and the internet came out, right? Yeah. So look, I think if you would, so then the phone was developed later and everything else, but
I think I remember
there's so much happening always, where from the computer age of when the outlets of information started coming to now it's at your fingertips anytime. Like, I feel it's kind of bad. Like, we're not concentrating on the morals of what matters. Like, so I guess positivity. What do you take out of it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because on my end, me growing up, it was like, I'm not gonna say like not in like this generation where it's like you give a kid an iPad and they're set. It was a slow transition. Like, people were slowly saying that the internet is the way. Like, I remember everything that I was learning in school ended up being like completely cut out, and all this kind of like a weird transition period of happening. Like, people saying, the internet's a thing. So we would learn how to use certain old technologies, but then ended up being redundant because of the new technology.
Right.
And that was always very, not frustrating, but it was very confusing growing up because we get to the point now where I have now graduated, and now it's just all technology, and we're sitting here like, what I learned back then doesn't really apply to us now.
So same. I mean, I can visualize because I'm very involved with my kids. Look, my family is that I personally have is a major factor of making me who I am too. Because I want to be the best dad I can. I want to be the best husband. I want to do everything right. I'm not always going to do everything right. I'm a human being, but it's about the balance of trying to teach youth. So my brother and I and a couple of friends, we coach soccer. We're getting engaging in the community, and it's a blast. Like, you develop more relationships. 100% love people, but I'll tell you, I do not like lazy people. And the way the world's become, there's a lot of lazy people. As being a business owner in a graphic world or a entrepreneur world, that we create image for people who are trying to live their dream and the American dream. It's kind of, you hear everyone's story. I got a ton of stories I can share, but not everyone's had the same pathway.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the one pathway that does always work, it's whether you're working for someone or someone else. 80% of the people go to work every day and hate doing what they do. And guess what? If you don't like that, change it. Don't infringe back on me because your attitude, because you hate what you're doing. And that's what people are getting tired of in life. Like, but
just got to do what
if you're willing to work, look at you. I mean, we're all entrepreneurs. So me inspiring in this message right now is this. I did it.
Yeah.
My brother and I's business started out of a second story bedroom with a $1,500 investment and no graphic knowledge. I went to Chesapeake College to do not knowing what I wanted. I played soccer there. Went on to get into business and marketing. So I did 2 years at Chesapeake, which I would tell everyone right now on planet Earth, it doesn't matter that you go to Harvard. Do something. Knowledge is power. I would tell you, I got great education at Chesapeake College for 2 years. Cheap. Because it's the same stuff that could roll over and transfer in the Maryland system to go to Salisbury University, which at that time I graduated in 2002. I know I tell my age, but at that time, Salisbury was the fourth ranked business school for Division III schools in the country. So I learned a lot, but I'll be honest, I kind of feel at times I learned a lot more at Chesapeake College because my professors were business owners, people who are living it versus teaching out of textbook philosophies and whatever. Like, that's all junk. Like, if you want to get into life, get engaged, be you, have confidence, know when you're going to fall, because I've not always been successful.
Yeah.
I have a fear of failing, which pushes me. But you got to be ambitious in this world that we're in now, because it's different than when I graduated.
In order to really make it, like, I'm gonna say it, like, if going back to that whole what was I gonna say? Growing and understanding things. I did also grow up, with both of my parents actually at first, then later on, dad splitting off a little bit and having to help out my mom and such. But I didn't really, I understand with reason why I'm saying this, because some kids, they kind of use that as an excuse in some cases, or they just don't, or they feel like would have been easier if the parents were still there. But my dad, he was in the military and he had a lot of benefits, and some of the benefits when he left kind of were like weren't there anymore. I didn't use that as an excuse to say, well, I guess now I can't do what I wanted to do, because he did promise me some things, like getting a car and all this other stuff. But and at the end of the day, my mind, I had to think it's either I sit around and pout all day, or I can just go out and do what I was promised. And
I'll tell you, Julian, I mean, look, you do the scooter thing. It's cool. It's outside the box thinking. Some people like it, some people don't like it, but big picture is, if this area is going to grow, meaning Dorchester County and our country as a whole. Like it's all outside the box thinking of unique opportunities, working for it. I mean, I remember you riding your e-bike out to my shop, which is on the highway right behind Rise Up,
Yeah,
from where you live. And like, that's effort,
yeah,
right?
I do. Yeah, I
To
remember
try
those
to get
days.
somewhere in life. And look, everyone in life needs to understand it doesn't come easy. If you
Yeah,
want it, you're going to sacrifice a lot of crap
to get there.
to get there.
Yeah,
Not that I mean, I'm not even saying that am I there? I don't know. I'm able to eat what I want.
yeah,
I can go on a vacation here and there. And to me, that's success. Like everyone
yeah,
has a different form of success. Like
yeah,
I'm going to teach my kids the value of you're going to work for it. You're not going to be handed everything.
yeah,
And I'm going to give you some tough love sometimes, but we all need that tough love. I mean, hell, I gave you a little tough love,
yeah. There were.
coming in, but I'm proud that you're taking ownership in this show and doing some cool stuff. And
Yeah,
you should be
working on
proud
it.
of that.
Yeah, working on it because like I guess another little mini point I kind of wanted to jump into was really the inspiration for doing these sort of ideas because at the beginning, I didn't really when I was younger I kind of was always sprouting to be like an engineer or someone who did something like that, but then something in the creative side of me kind of took over, so I started wanting to do making movies, cinematography, and the reason why I'm talking about this is because a lot of people were telling me, back to the story when you said you had to move. Well, you moved around a little bit and you kind of wanted Cambridge to grow. But me growing up, when I had that passion, nothing really was really popping up in that field for creativity. I didn't, if I'm
Yeah.
being honest, I didn't even know Metro Graphics existed until I started actually, working around the community, which I kind of wanted to bring it back to, what the schools are kind of trying to point fingers at. Because I will say, I was in the DCTC program,
Mm-hmm.
and they showed us a few different outlets for things that we could work at. The culinary class, and I think the cosmetology class, in my opinion, and I think the electrician class. I think all the other labor classes had better outlets, in my opinion, than what we had, because they had like they. I'm not gonna say guarantees, but they had a lot more options that were told to them. Like a few of them could start working at the Hyatt, or they even got their licenses to like do things elsewhere
Sure.
because it gets a little hard. But the reason why I was saying that is because it really started in school for me to really start researching what I wanted to really do type
Yeah.
deal.
So look, being married to a professional school system lady, like my wife is dual masters. She's worked hard. She's traveled abroad. She's worked to get to where she's at, and I'm proud of her for that. I mean, I remember when Renee and I pre got together, she was working at the library. So my business led me doing a banner for her at the library,
Oh,
which she was into Hispanic culture, and it was a Hispanic culture fest coming up. So she wanted to hire us to do a banner. So I thought she was pretty. So, and I was like, hey, can we go out for a drink sometime, right?
oh,
And but the interesting thing is when you get outside your comfort zones and you do things, like it's interesting that your business would lead you into you marrying a beautiful lady who, look, we passed each other in halls at CSD and probably never said hi to each other.
oh,
Now we got 2 kids, and she's doing extremely well in where she's at with Dorchester County Public Schools. Worked in Talbot County Public Schools for a long time. So she has a really diverse thinking of what the system looks like over in another neck of the woods compared to here. Why is Dorchester County behind as opposed to where you think Talbot's going above and beyond,
yeah,
than and running circles around us? Like, yeah, no, there's a lot of politics behind the big scenes, straight
yeah,
up, that looks are deceiving. But big picture is, if we want better here, we all have to get to work. Kids have to take it serious. Some school systems locally are better than others. There is environments and cultures unfortunately that need to adapt more, in my mind, to do better and have accountability and responsibility. And at the end of the day, knowledge is power, man. So, and experience. The biggest thing too, though, Julian, and that I've learned and grown from, and I've been fortunate, because I've been working since the age of 14 when I could, by being a busboy at Spicer Seafood when I was in town, to I opened the Walmart when it came to town, to managing jewelry stores and doing all kind of other like really off the wall stuff that has zero to do with graphics and other business stuff. But working at Walmart for 5.5 years, and this is pretty funny, but it's the truth. You have to understand people in life in order to be successful, and get outside your box. And I can guarantee you every walk of life is going to go through Walmart, like sitting on a park bench in Ocean City, like, what is going on here? Yeah. What are you wearing? Like, did you just get out of bed, or dang, what's happening there? So it's like you have all walks of life, but once you learn how to deal with people, and once you can deal with it, you'll know who you want to be like and who you don't want to be like quick. Yeah. Period. So real fast. If you're bored and you feel like you ain't got anything going for you, just go chill at Walmart and look around. Yeah. I'm not trying to be people judgy, but we are who we carry ourselves and how we choose to be in life, guys. It's really that simple. Yeah, like, you can make a lot of money with this cell phone, selling stuff on eBay. Yeah. Word of advice, though. Pay attention to the new tax laws, because they'll get you on that due to the current administration. And not trying to go political, but it's junk. But anyway, but big picture is go make yourself. Every day you wake up, every minute matters. Time is a major valuable thing in traveling. There's a lot of people locally, a lot of kids. Like, I've had some really cool experiences with youth here who has opened my eyes to other things and makes me want to be more a part in the community, that they have never even been across our Malkus Bridge. Oh. Yeah, or even down to Hooper's Island. Like, big picture, guys. Like, I've been thankfully to Dominican Republic, Mexico, like traveled, and my wife's traveled a lot more than me. Yeah. But big picture is by me traveling and seeing the world. That's why I like that Peter guy so much. He's showing you the reality. Yeah. You can see that there's a lot of people who are living in huts in third world countries who are way more happier than people who are getting paid by the government and not doing a damn thing. Excuse my language. And they're miserable and blaming others for that. No, like, these dudes, systematically, it's wake up and survive and eat. If you want to get ahead in life, you can. Yeah, that drive. Yeah. And these people are doing that. So we have time is your valuable thing. I hate when people waste my time now because I'm ready to go. Yeah. And there's a lot of people in life that just waste your time because that's all they got.
Yeah, it's like going back to what you were talking about, taking a chance, really, and seeing what you can like accomplish. Like, in some cases, I guess in small form cases, like when kids go to school, like, understandably, I'm gonna say it, in the system too, I thought it was a waste of time in some cases, in some instances. But growing up, understanding that, one thing I'll say is school probably taught me was how to deal with different people, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
The older and the younger, the people who lived in certain areas versus another. And
it's understanding people, right?
Yeah.
But too, though, like, all kids need to know, regardless of what the hell you look like, when you wake up and get out of that bed, how are you going to impact yourself and others? You, as you walk down that street, and the choice you make is going to be a reflection on yourself and your family. It's really that simple. Take pride in yourself. Get rid of your toxic relationships. This is the mindset. Yeah. Bad people generally hang around bad people. Yeah. Successful people always hang around successful people. Money always follows money. Like, that's all basic lessons. But you're not getting there without taking things serious. But also, too, like, your teacher in school is trying to bust their butt to wake up and live their dream and passion of trying to help people. But when you disrupt them and you're not respecting them, you're never learning anything.
No.
And that system is under attack right now. I have to make choices whether I want to send my children to private school right now versus not. And that's a joke to me, as I'm paying a lot of money in tax dollars from a system that is honestly broken.
Yeah. It's
interesting.
Yeah,
every school is different. I'm telling you, as you become a parent, you're going to see it different. And I graduated in 97 from CSD. I had zero problems with anyone, thank God. I was cool with everyone through respect. We had no racial divide. Did some kids grow up better than others? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had two parents in my life that mentored me. I had other mentors around me that would hold me accountable to let my parents know if I was screwing up. Yeah. Right? So we all need to do that. But it's different now.
It's still that basic, it takes a village to raise a child, I think.
It does. But I'll tell you too, though, here's simple that we're all not thinking about here. That we all need to understand in Dorchester County. This isn't about Cambridge, because the North Dorchester has the same issues that Cambridge, South Dorchester has, if not worse.
Yeah.
How can you impact people every day? What have we provided for us by the county that we're paying tax-paying dollars for? That I can tell you at the age of 43, it's gone backwards if anyone's making decisions. And I would love to have a deeper convo with anyone who wants to ask me why. Reach out to me, call me at my office, and we'll gladly figure out how we're going to change this environment. Because I can tell you, simplicity. Not trying. I'm always in the positive zone most of the time, but this is the truth, and the truth kind of becomes a little negative. Yeah. But when I graduated in 97 from CSD, all the good people that I knew and surrounded myself with all walks of life and all culture. My parents never taught me to be any different, right? So you love people for people.
Yes.
And that's where we're missing the point right now in life, not making this a racial thing, but take it for what you want. I'm not that way. But big picture is this. All the good people, for the most part, I knew that are now doctors that went and made something themselves from our own school system here in Dorchester County, our own school system here. They left.
Yeah, it's like.
So how do you we need to focus as a community of keeping great people around here.
Investing back into ourselves.
Yeah, and our county needs to stop accepting like the money. Like when I say the money, there's a lot of people that become drop-offs here in our environment and give free housing and do nothing but mess our system up. We're the third poorest county.
Oh.
Everyone needs to do your research. Second in crime, little mini Baltimore.
I didn't know that, yeah.
I don't like it. As a parent, it sucks. Period. And that's truth. So like, look, I am not trying to take your show over to make it be because I love your momentum and I'm all about the but this is mindset, guys.
This
is the purpose of this.
Yeah.
So look, I'm very inspiring, and people are like, why don't you run for a public office? I'm like, no, I feel like I can do more damage and talk the truth by being me right now and saying stuff that people would like to say, but they're scared to because they're scared how it's going to affect them.
Yeah.
But my biggest mission, me personally, Jason Warfield, Mitchell Graphics, we do the Dorchester Santa Toy Drive. We help our community out to give back. We don't judge you. I have a ton of awesome business owners, influential people who care the same way. I just talk. But the big picture is we care. And honestly, our whole big thing is I don't want my kids moving away, nor do I want yours. If we're going to grow this area, good people have to stay. And we need to provide opportunities. And I can't tell you how many business owners I talked with on a regular that I'm hiring. I need help, but I can't find anyone that cares about their self.
Yeah, that's
deep. In 2020, come on.
Which is interesting when you say it, because that's where I'm kind of thinking, back to a bit on the school side. Is that when I heard you say
2022,
that,
let me correct myself. But yeah, sorry.
But thinking back to the school side things, I'm like, I hear that and I'm like, it kind of sounds like when we go back to some things, we talk, sometimes behind the scenes, and you hear that it kind of sounds like we're fighting each other. When I hear you say like there's people that need help and the school systems or other people aren't really referring, or we're not like talking to each other to like get some of these things kind of resolved type of ideas, it's interesting, because at the end of the day, I sit here as I'm growing and I've been at this station, I've learned that there really is just a lot. There is a lot to Cambridge that I never knew about in the school system that was happening while I was there that I could have used
Sure.
as experience, and that could really, if shined on, and even if shined on, would make Cambridge, in my opinion, more of an area that people want to stay in.
Oh,
Like,
100%. I mean, look, big picture, guys. I mean, we're in the probably one of the most beautiful places in Maryland. If you wanted to stay in Maryland, they could possibly be. We're an hour from the beach. We're an hour from the city, DC or Baltimore or Wilmington or wherever you want to go. And we got water. We got beautiful waterways. Like, so many cool resources here,
yeah,
from fishing to crabbing to like that most of us don't even exploit. Like,
yeah,
I love getting, thank God, on our jet skis and going even fossil hunting and finding like, it's my release. This is my secret. I'm gonna give it out there. But it's like millions-year-old fossils from shark teeth. Like, how cool. I've had some really cool interactions with youth around here. One of my buddies, Jerry Hayes, he did a really cool event. He's influential too. And he paid for a ton. I'm not exaggerating. I mean, it was hundreds of youthful kids locally that needed some uplifting to come to the pool one day and to let them know and show you I care. And it's going to take all you all as leaders in a positive to change. And like, who's doing that? And I'm going to tell you, we all need to do that. And that's why we do it. If you want better, you lead by that example.
yeah,
That's, hey, I'm white. God gave me this. Like,
yeah,
Jerry, one of my best friends, African American. I love him.
yeah,
I like my brother. Right? So look,
yeah.
we're people.
It's just what you do with it.
It's what you do with it. Like, I don't want to hear no pity party BS that the man's on me.
Yeah,
No, you're on yourself. Like, and your parent needs to be a parent. Put their foot in your butt and go get it. Like, dig hard, man, and work hard.
Or even find somebody that would
develop relationships. Like, look,
yeah,
you knew me from at nothing, right?
Yeah,
And I am nothing.
Yeah,
Jason is nothing. I'm just a human being who cares about my kids and people and wanting my environment to be better.
Yeah.
So I don't write checks to the county to be like, you need to change this or nothing. Like, I do it through action. And big picture is, if we're all in life going to be better, what are you doing? What are you doing through action? Right. So you can talk the talk all day long, but we're in a world, we're tired of talking.
Just gotta do it.
If you want to draw up action, go. Because action speaks louder than words.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of truth in that. Action always speaks louder than words.
Yeah, which is interesting, because it's interesting when I hear that, and because thinking back, I'm trying to bounce back and forth from it being overly, well, not overly preachy, but making it back and forth. But thinking back to when you say actions speak louder than words, when I think that, I kind of hope when people hear that, everyone hears that. It's a pretty cliche thing. Everyone knows action speaks louder than words, but I want it to be when you hear it, because everyone hears the phrase, but it hits differently when you understand the phrase.
And you're doing, you're a doer, right?
Yeah.
So look, we all need to be doers on planet Earth if you want to be better. Yeah. Whether it's going to school or if it's hey, can I buy you a drink today? Are you thirsty? Like, or you see a homeless person on the street. Thank God we don't have a ton of that issue here, but
no, yeah, only the one local guy.
It's a good contribution here. Would you like a bottle of water? You might change that guy's life that day.
Yeah.
So we're talking about mindset. We all need to stop being selfish, because we are in a selfish world.
Yeah, it is a little bit of
social media makes you selfish.
Yeah.
Or egotistical, or whatever you want to call it, but you never lose.
Yeah.
By showing what you can do and how you can help. And it doesn't always have to mean that it's a dollar value behind it.
It can be an emotional value,
spiritual
value, really.
It's everything. Or look, I know if people know me, I don't mind speaking my mind, and I'll be anyone's best friend, right? My circles are extremely tight. I'm very conscious of who comes in it.
Yeah.
But I love everyone, and I'll give you the shirt off my back. But if the relationship's going to be toxic, I'm ending it quick.
Yeah.
Because I can, and guess what? You can too.
Yeah, because speaking on the whole small like relationship side of things, because I know I kind of wanted to speak on this little story about how really I got started into figuring out this small little path, because to kind of give some value to those who are in probably a same boat or was in the same boat as me, you know, either coming out of high school or coming out of some area of education. You don't really know where to start. You know, you were in school, you did everything you had to do, but you didn't really like talk too much. It's just really just going out and really trying to introduce yourself, not in a overzealous, if I'm using that word properly, not in an overzealous way. Like a lot of people may say, how did you get in contact with Jason over there? You know, like me, like first time I probably met him, I was around the age, I don't remember my age. I think I was like 18, 19. I was around that age, and like you said, on that e-bike, I didn't even have a car. A lot of people were telling me I was supposed to have a car, but I didn't have that. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because I was thinking to myself the whole time that if I was to work with them, that I can add something. And I want to say that to mostly to people who are in my boat, is most of these people that I've talked to, they're not really looking for that position. They're looking for something that adds to the value that they already are given. Like when I came over to them, I didn't just go and say, I know how to wrap a car, or
Yeah.
I know how to do Photoshop. I went in and said, hey, let me do just a random video. And I know that was kind of on my own time, but I did a random video for them sometimes, and they were like, oh, he actually does have some skill. He isn't just, just some random kid who's just trying to learn something. Like he already had a basis for something.
You weren't coming in to waste my time. And I did.
Yeah.
I viewed you that, all right, that you're actually trying to do something with your life.
Yeah.
Like, to me as a business owner, I will tell you now that I was, and sorry to cut you off from what you were saying, but and where you're going with it, but I was impressed that you were willing to get outside your comfort zone, and we all need to do it, and then come in and try to do something with your life.
Yeah, because what was it? Something, because then there was something else that hit. Because I think there was you. I don't know if you were out one day or you were doing some business somewhere else, but somebody then came around when I was randomly in the shop and said, "Oh yeah, are you Julian? Yeah, I've been hearing things about you." That to me shocked me immensely when you were talking to people about me, because I was like, oh, I literally just met you only a few days ago, and you were already talking so highly of me, and you helped me out in small ways that I appreciated. And I was like, oh, so
that's awesome to hear. I'm knowing again, like I'm a human being who want to see people generally like be their best, right? Yeah. And you're spreading your wings, which I'm impressed by. We all need to spread our wings, get outside of our comfort zones, and start blossoming. And there'll be failure.
Yeah.
It's going to make you better. You accept it, right? But the taste of success is great too. Again, my success is, it's not being able to travel to go to Florida whenever I want or do this. It's like just simply eating.
Yeah.
Like the value that we put on things, the materialistic value in the societies that we're in right now. So here's the other mindset.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a Lamborghini, right? That's going to make you feel like you're overpoweredly successful, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the people who have them Lamborghinis can't afford it. And it's all show. But at the end of the day, that car then owns you. Yeah, right? So then you're like, well, I'm going to insure the hell out of it and I'm going to do this. But you're working to pay for that.
Yeah.
We as a society need to be like, the value of $1 is a big deal. So you work hard for it. So this is, again, the mindset is, I'm not going to lie. Do I have some cool toys? Yeah. But big picture is, it doesn't own me. Yeah. Like when your toys and lavish lifestyles or whatever you feel you need to put an effort or emphasis on success, when it's taken over by the materialistic world, then you're actually owned by someone else. Yeah. And then that lifestyle is a whole nother ballgame. Yeah. But we all get caught in it. And I'll tell you even a crazy quick story that's leading up to that mindset of that is, I had a really cool interaction the other day. I'm pulling in and I have we had a really old white 04 Ford truck and we wrapped it and it looks new again. And I'm like, well, like Brian Snem, my buddy from Snow's Automotive, got it working and he did a great job. The guy is really down to earth and trying to work hard for his family too. And entrepreneur, left the dealership that he was tired of to try to do better for himself. And he's been crushing it. He's honest. Like, so I'm not trying to get crazy on plugging him, but big picture is we got the vehicle freshly wrapped. It's a 04 Ford truck, and now it looks new. I'm pulling in the drive-through Wendy's, and this young gentleman was like, "Sir," was like, "Man, at first I thought the truck looked like it was just a bad paint job. Then I got here and like, wow, that's pretty damn cool. That's a cool looking truck." I was like, "Thanks, man." He's like, "Well, what do you do?" I'm like, "This is what I do. I wrap vehicles and do marketing stuff and vice versa." So it started a cool conversation as I'm ordering food, right?
Yeah.
Right? And that's getting to know one another. But it ended up being into an honest conversation that I learned from. So I gave him my credit card, and he tried to run it, and it got denied. I'm like, "What? How'd I get denied?"
Oh.
I was like, "Look," and I'm a straight shooter on everything. I was like, "I've got like a $30,000 limit on that credit card. It's not, trust me, it's not maxed out." And I pay our credit cards are like instantly. I'll charge everything on it because I have discipline. I'll pay it off at the end of the month so I can get the rewards. All good, balance, right? But it's a lifestyle balance. It's another mindset. But big picture is, I was like, "Run it again, man." He ran it. Oh, he admitted, "My fault. I hit the button wrong, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "It's all good. No big deal. Completely cool." But it led into another conversation. He's like, "Man, you got like a $30,000 limit on that one card?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "It's just credit." I was like, "But what he's like, "Man, my credit's junk." So this is a young man, probably 18, 20-ish.
Okay.
And he's like, "Yeah, my mom ruined my credit." I was like, "What do you mean your mom ruined your credit?" He's like, "Well, she ran up, put the phone bill in my name and put the Comcast bill in my name, never paid for it. So I owe 800 on it. I now owe 800 on Comcast and 800 on this Verizon bill that I didn't even sign up for." I was like, "Well, I hate to be brutally honest, but you need to hear it. Your mom's toxic and you need to get away from her." And what parent does that to their kids who's trying to get ahead in life? I said, "Son or sir, either way you want to take it, the best thing that you can do is pay your bills if you want to get ahead in life, because credit's everything. If you had to pay cash for everything, absolutely, you're exhausting yourself and you're never going to get ahead in life. I appreciate you working hard and taking accountability because you're trying to get ahead in life and keep pushing." But that's the mindset. I get the opportunity of that experience, but I learned from that too, right? I'm like, damn, like, parents, if anyone's watching this, don't do that.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
That's
completely shady and junk. Like,
not cool.
You're setting your family up to fail, and that's the big picture of systematically and socially why we're there. It's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, would never even occurred that something like that would have happened. But but I thanked him for the conversation, and moved on. He's like, "All right, your food's ready. Go ahead." But I'm like, well, maybe that conversation hopefully impacted him later. Will get you thinking.
Yeah.
Parents need to be parents and do right. Period.
Yeah.
But credit is everything too.
That too. Yeah. I mean, speaking on like relationship and understanding that side of it, it's like, parents, they need to do what they need to do, the right thing in most cases. But it's sometimes, I'm not going to say human nature will make it so that they can't, but at the same time, if you feel like it's like a losing battle, or like you said, it's a relationship that's wasting your time, then you may have to get out of it and find someone really else. You
do. And unfortunately, sometimes, thank God I never had to make that choice, but that's a horrific choice to walk away from your maybe loved one who's thinks they're trying to support you and they're not.
Yeah, because like thinking back to the famous situation with my dad, understanding that small little side of it, like it did leave our I will say us, even though I will say our mother, bless my mother for being so strong.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to meet her, but that's fantastic.
In a weird financial situation where we were just panicking, but being religious, we were blessed with another place to really live, and then to continue to really just continue where we kind of left off. It wasn't like breakdown or anything that kind of stopped things from happening. Now it's like I didn't just try to continue afterward, trying to just try to get in touch, just desperately saying, hey, we need money, or hey, we need this. I said, no, I gotta look somewhere else. And I'm gonna say it, the station was kind of that place for me,
Awesome. Yeah.
like Mike
took
Starling and
You
Doug.
took that negative and turned it into a positive in another way, and it's cool that other people believed in you, man.
Yeah, they
we believed in you.
Yeah.
And you still come around, and I'm cool with that. Like, I learned from you.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like, that's the whole big picture of life, is that we all need to learn from one another.
Yeah.
If you're ever going to be better.
Yeah, not to just, sit around and say things aren't going my way, so it's done, Like, I talked to some people who would say my life's over and it's done, but I did give them some opportunities, and they weren't overly appreciative, which that happens sometimes with the opportunities I did give them, but now they're in a better spot, and I feel like sometimes I feel like if I didn't help them, they may have been in even different spots.
Yeah, maybe I'm too strong-headed on this, but I love your thought and theme of the show, because it is about mindset, but big picture is there's strong and weak mindset.
Yeah.
Like, if you're on, like, it sucks because people are hooked on bad drugs, but guess what? Thankfully, I guess I'm blessed, or whatever you want to call it, that it's all choices and pathways.
Yeah.
I can stop anything I want anytime I want to. But it's strong mind versus weak mind.
Yeah, being able to say, I'm going to do this, we're saying I can't do it, Like, looking at me, a lot of people, there were times, like I will, because I don't know how long I want this show to run, so we may give it a little bit longer, but going back to a small little school story I had, there was a teacher I had, I'm really, as people hopefully can tell, hopefully by the way the show has been formatted, I know I haven't been switching between cameras so much, but there was a teacher I had that didn't exactly like how ahead of the curve I was on certain things. The teacher would often challenge me a lot, and I was always able to come back with a proper response. This wasn't like your typical, like, behavioral issue. This wasn't like me saying, oh, you're stupid, I don't need to know any of this. This was, I know what I'm doing. Why are you, like, slowing down my progress? Why are you holding me back in certain areas? Now, I will say, a little bit my fault, because, I probably should have been a little bit more slower, but I was angry at the fact how I didn't really feel like I was getting 100% what I was getting out of, because the teacher before then was always challenging me, saying, like, if I was done an assignment early, he always tacked something else on there, saying, hey, do this then.
Yeah, well, like, if you're analyzing jobs, that's that teacher's job.
Yeah.
To teach, to broaden you.
Yeah.
Period. Forget the textbook. Like,
yeah,
everything in life's about the experience, but also in the challenge. So that's a whole nother story. You can go on forever, because I do feel mindset.
Yeah.
There's systematic things that I feel protect teachers who probably honestly shouldn't be teaching.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call it the way it is. So because guess what you then do? You just you hold that student back.
Yeah, a little bit.
To your point.
Yeah, because I didn't want it, because I know I don't want this to sound like all students are great and all, but it's different. It's different when you get a student that's saying, forget you, you're stupid, and not trying to learn anything, versus the other way around, saying, why are you slowing me down? Why can't
I get it.
Get a bigger conversation going.
In all fairness to that teacher, I do understand that there's sometimes not enough teachers.
Yeah.
There's not enough support to help that teacher out from home. So it's easy to get defeated as well. And let's call it the way it is.
Yeah.
So, but guess what that's from? Mindset.
Yeah.
And their support home and their foundations and encouragement of, if you want a better life, you got to work for it.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be handed to you.
No. And that's what I feel like should really be taught more in a lot of these areas. Because I will say, my mom being a teacher, she does teach that to her students, even though every day she comes back and we're like, uh-oh, what the heck happened this time? Hearing the stories that we hear, we're like...
Sounds like a soap opera happening out there.
Yeah.
Maybe we needed a reality show in the system.
Yeah. It's the things we hear, we're like, oh, that does sound accurate. And then in some areas, we're like, oh, that's just straight up new.
No, right. I mean, you and me obviously are on the same page of the mindset of pro education.
Yeah.
Pro, look, my wife included, and all of her awesome surroundings of support staff. and all the good teachers I've had. Like, I'm all about and wanting to say thank you to
Yes.
everyone who's allowed me to get to where I'm at. Like,
Yeah, learning.
there's stuff I didn't always learn. I was a slow reader, man.
Oh,
Like, reading's still not my favorite thing to do, but
I wouldn't have gotten that from you first.
I think I've done okay though. I've gotten through it, and my mom and dad were in my butt all the time with trying to get me through it, and I did. But I also had support, teachers who supported it. But there's a ton of teachers in our system locally who generally do care, and they just need to support and people to be like, if you're screwing up, kid, and bringing drugs to school and this and that, I'm sorry about your luck, but that's a terrible pathway choice.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you're disrupting everyone who wants to be better. So we've got to stop playing the number game and being honest about where we're going to get to if we're going to be better. Yeah. Not saying it's crap.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more of, unfortunately, bad versus good stories out there.
Yeah. But I mean, it would be nice. I feel like for every bad story, there's always a good one, but I feel like all the bad stories get highlighted more than the good ones.
I think it's that generally Julian happens in life. I think, there's a lot of truth to not everyone's always quick to talk about the good versus the bad or what someone did bad. And, honestly, I would love to see that change. And who changes it? Us. So, look, thank you, everyone out there who are positive in my life, in my brother's life, in the business life, and my kids and my family, because I'm not where I'm at without you.
Yeah, I can say the same sentiment, thanking all the people really that have got me to where I'm at, sitting today, positive and negative. Like, at the end of the day, really, I feel like what I want people really to take away from this show and why I started this show is to show, one, that there is talent in this community, and two, that it doesn't really take much to do what you want to do, really. Like, I understand, like, being on the internet, for me anyway, I watch a lot of people who are on the West Coast in California or various other areas and seeing them do cool things. And I'm like, why isn't that over here? But then as I start to get into the community, I start to realize it is over here. Just, it feels like we're not like embracing it. Like,
it's not showcased. I mean, I think too, it's so in business, I think in order to be successful, coming from an entrepreneur-ass mindset and coming from someone who talks with a lot of different businesses, from welding businesses to school systems to breweries to, it's all across the board, plumbers. If you want to be super successful, you got to do something that's unique. You can't be another pizza shop as we've got 10 here.
Yeah.
And make it. So, not downing pizza shops, because there's some really awesome pizza shops in town. But the point is, if you want to get ahead quicker, you got to be unique and cool at what you do and give back to your community. Like, I'm so thankful we're in a position that I get to work with my brother every day, have a phenomenal family bond, and I'm able to impact my community in a positive way, and I want to continually do that.
Yeah, that's honestly, I guess, the same I want to say. Just, impacting people in the proper way, the right way, for everyone to, understand that what we have here and what other people have over there, we can bring over here. Like, the whole, I understand, scooter thing, a lot of people like to say. I know I'm sometimes not the proudest when I look at it, because, there's a lot of negative, and I see a lot of negative, but that was something that wasn't around here. And then when it came around here, people obviously didn't like it, but as soon as they adapted to it, it became part of life.
Yeah. And I think, and you may be able to give some stat on that, but I think some people are able to get to work easier.
Yes.
Which is a big thing. I mean, that's a big problem in America, not only just Dorchester County, but people getting to work. People can send snapshots all day long of, look at this damn scooter sitting on the bridge or this or that. But you know what? Open your mind to what the positive is doing, because you showing the negative, you're only just bringing it down. And I don't care who you are, friend or not, to me. That is the truth. If we're going to have better, we are going to have to adapt to new elements that allow people to spread wings and go. There will always be sour apples and people who are not appreciating the effort. for
Yeah.
what it's meant to be.
It's
So
much
hopefully a
like
good
that.
talking to in a reality check
Yeah,
helps that.
that's
Or
what it
say,
was.
hey, you're spoiling this for everyone else, but people got to step up and talk that,
Yeah, that's
because sometimes there's no parent home that's going to be able to tell them that.
yeah.
Period.
Where they
And
gotta look.
that venture is for everyone.
Yeah,
It's really cool to see some tourists that come here doing it, or youth here, or individuals getting from point A to point B to get to work. I mean,
yeah,
not everyone's going to have a car.
yeah. I didn't have one for the longest time. The reason why it even came about was because I was into the electric scene with the electric bikes, and I started talking to people trying to get it started and off the ground a little bit. But
Yeah.
it's it is something. At the end of the day, I'm thinking, I start to think that if we had more people that kind of just saw the different things that are in other areas and brought them here, I'm gonna say it. I think Cambridge would look differently than how it is now, and not a lot of people would say that we're just a tourist hole where everyone just either goes to downtown or all the regular spots and actually explore Cambridge a little
Oh, there's
bit.
some great offerings. There's so many awesome business owners here. I mean, big picture is too. There's a lot of new people moving here that isn't from around here, which I love
Yeah,
seeing. It's changing the vibe.
yeah,
It needs to change. I feel big picture. Um, there's been a good old boy system here for a long time. I'm over it.
yeah,
There's a reason why people move.
yeah. When they're tired of something or they can't find what they need over here.
And I'll tell you, I met a gentleman from one of our private events that we had. That was a fundraiser for the Dorchester Santa. And he came because he liked the vibe. What was happening was what was helping to build our community. Just to share quickly, but he's like, I was like, are you from here? I was like, you got a ticket, because a ticketed item, and he's here. I'm like, I introduced myself, and he was like, I love it here. I was like, where are you from? He said, I'm from DC. I was like, cool. I was like, well, you being from DC, I was like, why Cambridge? He said,
Yeah.
well, I was looking at Oxford, or I was looking at St. Michael's. He said, that's just becoming a mini DC.
Oh,
And it's something I'm trying to get away from. So
yeah,
he said, what I love the most about Cambridge and why I came here is that I like people, and people are real, and you know where you stand pretty quickly,
yeah,
versus be told like fake stuff or be a fakey person. And
yeah,
I'm like, you know what? I can get down with you, because we all need to be real
yeah.
and keep being real
That's
and take honesty. But that really was impactful to me, because I'm here every day, all day. And that, I mean, I've lived in Salisbury, dude, to go to
yeah,
school. But other than that, moved back. But big picture is people are moving here to run away from other areas, or they're tired of mindset in other ways. And
yeah,
they'd like to be a part of a community that they can help.
yeah. Or even just to get a different experience sometimes. I know it's a little.
Yeah.
I will say, school sometime. I don't know how often they still do sort of some of these trips, but when we go to like the aquarium or to different, I think aquarium is probably the only one I can think of that's like in Baltimore that we can take it to. But I feel like that's honestly an eye opener for most of the people around here in some cases, because it's a way different vibe when you're over there. How it's very hustle bustle, and it's just a different way to look at how things are. Even because the reason why I talk about it is because just the transition from Cambridge all the way to Baltimore over there, it first time when I went as a kid, I was like, whoa, there is more. I just thought it was like Cambridge extended. I was like, what is all this over here? It's I know I kind of lost my train of thought while I was talking about that, but the reason why I was talking about that, because to your thing when you said running away from something, I saw that and said, well, why don't we have that over here? As I grew up, I was like, okay, well, what I learned from over there, what I see over there, why don't we try bringing some of it over here? So
Yeah, I mean, I think people need to keep bringing it. There's a ton of opportunity here for Dorchester County to continue to grow. There's a lot more that I would love personally to get into as well, that I see vision for. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of money.
yeah,
But our county needs to start making some investments into the right direction versus the wrong direction. And there's been a lot of good direction going too, in all fairness. But it's time for certain changes to happen. We can't do the same stuff here to where everything always looks the same and redundancy.
Yeah.
We need uniqueness. I love the murals happening around town.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of positive vibe. I get some people are
Yeah.
like, I'm beating the drum if there's too much Tubman. Like, whatever, dude. At least I'm glad things are
Something.
happening.
Yeah.
Like,
Or-
and this woman was super amazing on
Yeah.
planet Earth to
Yeah.
risk it all, like do research in ways. Like, I don't care, but I'm all about the influence and the positive. And who's gonna be the next one to be that guy, that person?
Yeah, honestly, that I feel like is a great really note to kind of end on, if I'm being honest. I know it's been an hour and some change now.
Yeah, it's
for a
all
little
good.
bit,
I appreciate
so-
people tuning in with us and you having me on here. So thank
yeah,
you.
so honestly, so for all those who tuned in live, we will continue to do these live. I'm going to continue to try to plan to do these on every Wednesday around 12. I want to thank Jason for coming on.
Yeah,
being
thanks for
my
having me, guys.
First episode.
Hope I didn't bore everyone.
Yeah, it was all great. Oh, I think someone is at the door. I don't know who that is. But yeah, I want to say thank you for all those who decided to come in. It was really awesome. I really enjoyed what was said. You can pass through. Don't worry. We're
all
casual.
Good. We're
with this. Yeah.
organically
casual,
cool here, so it's
so-
all fine, man.
Yeah, so thanks again. We're gonna keep doing these. I hope you guys did enjoy this talk. We'll do this next time. You can come in. Don't worry. Sorry. Yeah. Thanks again,
Awesome.
Jason.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And everyone go out and every day make it count and be impactful.
All right. Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. And so that'll be all. And I'll post all the end stuff later on. So thanks for tuning in and bye.